you. I do have this little, and I can send this to you guys as well. These are just some tips and some tricks for maximizing your marketing. We'll kind of run through this quickly, and then we'll dive into Listing Concierge and kind of show you some different things that you can do with your Listing Concierge order. Some are a little outside of the box, and then some go hand in hand with the program itself. So these are 12 tips for program success with the Listing Concierge. The first thing to remember is that they are busy bees. So your Listing Concierge coordinator, or LCC for short, as you hear us always call them, they do a lot of time blocking during the day. They are, because this program is owned and operated by Coldwell Banker Realty, they are all Coldwell Banker Realty employees. So they do have very specific, like a job description, things that they're, mandated to do. At the end of your experience with your transaction with Listing Concierge, you do get a survey. And those are taken very, very seriously. The goal of each LCC is to get a five-star service, to get 5 stars, but they are very busy. They do time block. So I always like to remind people, if you reach out to them and you're not able to get a hold of them by phone, go ahead and shoot an email to your LCC. He or she will get back to you as soon as they have a moment in the day. They do have some time blocked out during the day to get back to people. So don't panic. If you really need an answer immediately, you can always call the General Listing Concierge helpline. They can help you with general questions, although they may not be privy to what's going on with your actual order. So just be aware of that. I have seen a couple times when agents are like, hey, I can't get through to them. They will get back to you. So again, like I was saying, there is help for that. They do have a main number. And again, I'll send this out to you so that you have a copy of this. You can also find this in the Listing Concierge system. But if you have any questions on placing an order, maybe you can't find out who your LCC is, these are all questions that you can email me as well, and I can help you with them as well. But if you need immediate assistance and you just really want to talk to somebody on the phone, they do have the option there for you to call. If you prefer to chat, you're able to do that. That is Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 8 o'clock p.m. So they did stretch out that time there. It's not really business hours. It's a lot longer because we know you guys are in there, in the evening placing orders as well. And they also have email support, again, for some of those more generalized questions. This is the thing that I find that everyone kind of misses. So you want to enter your sphere into Prospect Square. I always say if you're in touch with an email, they should also be in your Prospect Square. I'm just a big fan of having both groups in both systems mirror each other. And we know that Prospect Square is email only, but this is another piece of your puzzle, so to speak, in Listing Concierge. I always equate this. You guys will always hear me say it's like buying a Happy Meal and throwing out the French fries. If you do that, call me. I love French fries. I will happily take your French fries. And in this sense, it's kind of the same thing. You're buying a package deal. It's a combo. So you want to be able to utilize every single piece of what you're paying for and also what the company is paying for. Because remember, guys, this is subdivided, and it is, you're getting a subsidy there from the company. They're paying about 73% of what it actually costs to do this marketing. So we want to make sure, and honestly, as an agent, I might not be as concerned about them, but if I'm going to be spending a few $100s, I definitely want to get every single penny's worth out of what I'm investing, not only into the listing itself, but into myself as an agent and into my marketing. Once you have them in Prospect Square, that e-flyer will be triggered. You can have, if you want to simplify it, you can just have a group called Sphere. Your Listing Concierge coordinator will reach out to you via email and will ask your permission, which group would you like to send this to? Do you have a group that you would like me to utilize to send these out? And honestly, I would send it to everyone. Every single person that I have an email just for, I'm happy to send my listing to, whether they just want to be a looky-loo and look at the beautiful pictures, whether they might have someone that wants to live in that neighborhood or they themselves are interested. It's just a great way also of reminding people that you do real estate and showcasing your amazing photos and all of the marketing that you provide. So this step also is, I find, where a lot of agents get stopped. So the LC team, your listing concierge coordinator, they can't actually begin work on your order until they have both the copy and the photos. So if you're taking your own photos or you have a photographer that's taking them and you're putting them into the system, they do have to be high definition. So you want to make sure that once they're in there, that you go back in and add your property description. I've heard a lot of agents that are like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. It will come up as soon as you place your order. The screen that will appear will be a timeline of sorts to kind of let you know when to expect your materials. And it says in the top, on top of that in bold, put in your property description. Now, this could be your remarks from the MLS. And just know that your listing concierge coordinator is not going to do anything to those except for just make sure that they are grammatically correct and the punctuation is correct grammar wise. But they're not going to write them for you. They're not going to rewrite them. So just make sure that you get that in there. As soon as your property description and your photos are in the system, that is the catalyst to get everything started. I've had a few agents that have sat with me and said, you know, I'm not getting anything from my LCC. I don't know where to look. How do I do this? And they didn't put in a property description. As soon as you get that in, you're able to get in. You can create your flyer. You can actually publish your single property website yourself. You can get in and start working on your brochure. That's a new option now. And you can do your DIY video slideshow and get some social media banners as well. So again, like I was just saying, Shakespeare can rest easy. They're going to review for spelling, grammar, typos, that kind of thing, punctuation. And they're also going to, as much as they can, because they are not licensed, they're going to look for the legalities according to your local market. But just be very careful here because they are not licensed. They may not be looking at what you're writing and reviewing it for example, for fair housing guidelines. And we know with fair housing, the best thing that we can do when we write remarks is to never mention people at all. So great thing to say instead of saying this is great for family and friends would be this is great for entertaining. So those types of things they're not going to look for. But they will make sure that you don't have any typos, and they're not going to be changing it up for you. If you do have any issues with that, just reach out to your LCC or reach out to me. But they really will do the bare minimum just to make you look good. And understanding the turnaround time. So this is another thing. I think once you've used the program consistently for a while, it does get a little bit easier. But when you first start out, can be a little overwhelming. You know, should I expect X, Y, and Z? So once you complete your order, the screen that pops up, it will remind you, it is a little different than this one in here, but it does now remind you at the top to put in your property description. And it's going to let you know that the clock for completing your order, it starts when your photos and your copy are received. So I will show you a place where you can get a definitive timeline as well. And I don't know if you're like me, I like to put everything into my calendar. I like to put reminders on my phone just to remind me to follow up if I need to go and improve something, if I need to send it to print. It's very minimal with the hands-on because a lot of this work is done for you, but there are pieces in here that you can really take control of and kind of do on your own. But it's going to let you know when your property website is going to go live. It's going to let you know when your brochure proof is going to be ready. So both of those are generally within one business day of getting your photos. Now, remember, the timeline is a little bit different Most listing concierge coordinators work from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So if your photos get into the system on Wednesday at 3 p.m., by the next day, you should be, 24 hours business day, you should start seeing some of these pieces come out. It'll also give you a date that your Boost by Home Spotter ad will come out. So it's important to know to go into Boost by Home Spotter. You can add your client's information, and I will show you how to do that shortly. And it will actually, your ad will follow them around the internet. In addition to that, in a way to maximize the marketing, I don't just want to put my seller's information in there, and their information won't be sold. It won't be used in any other capacity. They won't even know that you included it. They'll start seeing your ad everywhere. They'll just think that it's that great of an ad. I'm going to let them think that. But I'm going to put in some of my prospective sellers as well. I'm going to target them. The ad will follow them as well. And then they'll just know, hey, this agent is the best. I'm seeing this agent all over the internet. It's a sign. I have to call this person to list my home. So also in the system, you do have notifications, and those really are a superpower. There is a section right under order management in the listing concierge tile that says recent activity. So you can actually go into the system and it will date and timestamp every time something happens. So if you need proofs, if you want to know when they were released, if you want to know when you approved something, maybe you want to know when the LCC went in and created something, you can find all of that information every time you're touching something or the LCC is touching something. The system makes a note of it. So it's a really great way. If you're like, man, like I didn't get this, where is this? You can go in and find it. Or if you can't remember when you proof something, you can go in and look at that information. Another great feature, because photos are very subjective, you're able to tell your LCC what photos you like the best. And you'll see even in this photo here, we have several photos of the front of the property. And while one of you may choose the one on the left, someone else may choose the second one or the third one or the fourth one, we all might have a different vision of what that best photo is. And that's okay. They're all wonderful photos, but we want to make sure that when your marketing comes out, it looks the way that you want it to look. So your LCC is able to go in once you've hearted these. You want to maybe heart about 10 to 12, maybe 14 max of all the photos that you like. And we don't want to go too crazy. Maybe one of the front, one of the back, one of the kitchen, one of each of the rooms that you would like featured in the brochure, in the professional slideshow, things of that nature. Because again, there may be several photos of the kitchen and you like one of the viewpoints better than the other. We just want to make sure from the get-go, so that there is the least amount of editing possible, that we're getting it right for you from the beginning. I also just love this from an agent perspective. It gives me control of my marketing. So that way, your listing concierge coordinator knows which photos you like the most. And if you don't care, I've had a couple agents that are like, I really don't care. They're the professionals. Just let them do it. If you don't heart anything, your listing concierge coordinator will choose on your behalf. And again, you can always go back. You can edit later, and you can go through anyway. And if you need help with this, let me know. Another thing that you're able to do in the system that I always like to point out, and it's a little outside of the box, your photographer will send you the photos in an email. They will also upload them, depending on which photography company you use. They will upload them into Listing Concierge for you. I believe at this time, VHT, you do have to select the photos. They take more than 36. You have to select the 36 that you like the most, and then they'll upload them for you. I believe TruePlace, Home Track, and 360 Design Tours will automatically, they just do the 36. So if you're an indecisive person like I am, that might be the way to go. But they'll upload them for you. I find it very easy in the Listing Concierge system to rearrange my photos. So you will see here at the bottom of each photo, there is a number. In the system, you're also able to drag and drop very easily. I'm not as big of a fan of bright MLS. Sometimes it doesn't work exactly the way I want it to. So I like to take everything, rearrange it in Listing Concierge in the order that I like it. I usually like to do kind of more of a walkthrough, but then I can actually select all, download, and save all of these to a folder on my computer. They're already in order. I can go to the MLS. I can select all from those photos. I can upload all of them into the MLS at one time, and they're already in order. So instead of having to rearrange photos twice, I've only done it once and I've saved myself a boatload of time. Just throwing that out there as well. Also, acting immediately when your proofs are ready. So I know you guys are on the go. You will get auto notifications through the system and from your LCC, who will email you to let you know when your proofs are ready. Excuse me, this is in addition to your timeline. So you'll already have a timeline of when to expect those things, but you want to make sure that you're logging into Listing Concierge, you're reviewing, you're editing, you're approving. In most cases, this is going to take you about 5 or 10 minutes. It's not going to take you that long. I love it because it's definitely steps that I don't have to sit down. I don't have to, pull out a template. I don't have to put all my pictures in. I don't have to make sure that all of the copy fits in there or the property description fits. I let someone else do all of that. I can just go back when they're done. I can look at it, say, yes, this is exactly the way I want it to be, and hit the button. It will be sent to print. If it's postcards, if it's brochures, all of that stuff I can look at, and I can make sure again that I have complete control and it looks exactly the way that I want it to look. And again, going along with that, the power is in your hands. So a lot of the photos, the copy, the design edits, when this system first came out, if anyone used it at that time, there was a lot of, you have to reject it, you have to send it back to someone, they have to fix it for you. And you guys have given feedback. I always say, find the feedback forms and all of the tools, use them profusely, and be brutal. They have made so many changes and updates to our tools to reflect what's actually going on out in the field. So again, you guys were like, hey, I want to be able to get in and do my brochure now. I want to hit the proof button. I want to print it. I want to get it tomorrow. I need it now. And they've given that ability now. So you can either have your LCC create your brochure, you can go in and do it yourself. You can adjust the copy, you can change the design. Maybe you don't like the design of the brochure, you can click change design above the proof and you can select from a different design. You can do this until it's exactly the way you want it. The only time you really can't change it is after it goes to print, which makes sense. Because again, before we would hit reject and then someone would have to make the changes for us. And now we can actually just do it ourselves, save that time, be a little more efficient, and go straight to print. And with that, we do have to remind you that approve does mean approve. So Express Docs is this way, InTouch, Shutterfly, any online vendor really that you use. Once you hit an approve button to go to print, that's it. That's all she wrote. It will give you a warning as well. Are you sure that you want to approve? Be very sure before you hit that button. I always recommend download the proof, print it out, and look at it. I do this profusely, although I always say, hey, let's go paperless. This is one time when I will definitely be printing things out and looking at them. And unfortunately, they are unable to stop the materials from going to print once you hit that button. It is an extremely quick turnaround. And I've had agents that have said, well, how quick can it really be? If I proof my brochure today, I'm getting my brochure tomorrow. So it's very quick. They want to make sure that they're getting you the materials as soon as possible. So, out and into the mailboxes of your consumers, the brochure in your mailbox. So just make sure that you've really looked at it And feel free to give it to another person. It could be someone in your house. It could be someone in the office. Hey, can you look at this for me? Can you just double check it for me? And then remember the objectives. So we do have those 3 very clear objectives. It's always to win the listing, to beat out the other agents. We know how competitive this market is crazy right now. And it's still very, very competitive. Proving your value. Again, when you're coming in and you're sitting on a listing presentation and you're letting someone know, I have a marketing specialist that works with me. I have a professional photographer that, works for me as well. And I have an entire digital marketing team that's at my disposal. These are things that I bring to the table. I'm already invested in selling your listing and bringing the best buyer with the best price and the best terms, because I think the best marketing is what does that. I sell real estate. I'm not a marketing person. So I'm going to let the marketing professionals do that. Is it expensive? Yes, it is. But again, that's no additional cost to you, my seller. That is what I bring to the table. That's part of your commission fee to me. That adds to your value. No one else is coming in with digital marketing teams and professional this, that, and the other. They're coming in by themselves. I mean, technically we are too, but I'm not going to let anybody know that I have a program that does this. I'm going to take ownership of every step of the process. And also, of course, we want to turn one listing into 3. The longer we have listing concierge, the more I have agents coming to me and saying, wow, that was amazing. I listed this property and then I listed the neighbor's property and someone down the street wanted to list with me. Or, they're on the fence and they're thinking about it. I had an agent last week and she was like, hey, I was able to talk to the neighbor down the street who was on the fence. She needs to get new carpet. She's not able to sell her house now. I was able to hook her up with Real Vitalize. She's able to get that new carpet and not pay for that until she settles. She's able to take advantage of the market now before it changes. So what an amazing advantage and a great value that we bring to our clients every day. So I will go in to desk and we will jump in to listing concierge. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself at any time. Interrupt me because I do talk fast. Any questions that you might have, or if you want to keep them till the end, we will have a short Q&A then as well. All right, so we're going to keep going. So you'll see listing concierge here on the right. I have it on the right-hand side. You guys can move these anywhere you want them in desk. If you can't find it, you can always just start typing listing concierge in and it's going to pop right up for you. I always like to point that out in case you're not aware of that. But you'll see here we have a little menu down at the bottom, and I'm going to make this a little larger so we can see it together. We have these 3 dots here. Sometimes you'll hear people call them an ellipsis. Sometimes it's the kebab menu. Sometimes it's just the 3 dots. But this little menu button here, you can go through and, oh, there we go. Let's make sure I'm on listing concierge. You'll see that we have a help center, and we also have timelines. So let's jump into that timeline button, because if you didn't know what was there, it really is a game changer. So again, I'm going to have to remind myself that this is all related to business days and business hours. Even though I'm an agent and I work from sun up to sundown and in the middle of the night and whenever people are texting me or calling me, the rest of the world does business hours. For now, the program does business hours. So I'm going to go in with that in mind. And I'm going to go in and choose my Mid-Atlantic metro, because we're in the Mid-Atlantic. And then this is going to be very clear to me that I need to put in the date that I have my photos back from the photographer, and I have my marketing copy. Now, we don't really have copyright assistance here. We don't have that in addition because it's already included in what we have. Our LCCs and our metro automatically do copyright assistance, where they go through and make sure you have the correct grammar, punctuation, spelling, etc. And major holidays are also included. So, for example, when we had 4th of July, we would just kind of take out the 5th because that was a holiday for most. So let's say that I have received my photos I'm going to get my photos back today. I met with the photographer yesterday. Today, I have gotten all of my photography back. Or actually, you know what? Even better than that, let's pretend like I've met the photographer this morning, and we're going to put in tomorrow's date because tomorrow's date is a Friday. So I kind of want to let you see how that's going to kind of change the delivery dates. It is one business day, so we know the weekend doesn't count. So I kind of want to show you how that is, but we're going to put the date in. I'm going to have those photos back in my hands and on my listing concierge order tomorrow. And I can hit this calculate delivery date. And now I have the exact dates to expect my pieces. I like to point this out because expectation is key. This is also how I make my sellers have the correct expectations. We all know those sellers. We go in, we win the listing, and they want everything done today. Well, guess what? I can put a sign in your yard. I can put everything, on the MLS, but the marketing is where it's at. I want to reach as many people as possible, and I want to have that first online appointment be the best appointment possible. I want to entice people to come to the property in person, bring their best offer. I want them to want this property. So I'm going to go in and I can see that on Monday, my property website will go live. Now, again, I can go into the system. I can make that live myself as soon as I have my property description and my photos. But if I don't want to mess with that, maybe I don't have time to look at that, the LCC will do that for me. They will make that a live link for me on Monday. I will also get my brochure proof. I believe right now you can opt out of brochures and get an additional 3 weeks or something of the Boost by HomeSpotter online advertising. So if you don't see any reason to get the brochure, you can opt out of that. But if you do get them, you want to have them in the property, you want to use them for marketing, maybe you want to walk the neighborhood with them, in addition to postcards that people are receiving. Maybe you want to use them in future listing presentations, different things that you can utilize those for to maximize your marketing. Just know that proof will be to you by Monday. But again, another update in the system. You guys asked for it and they have come through. They are listening, I promise. You can actually go in and create your brochure yourself now. You can unlock it. You can go in. So by tomorrow, I can go in, proof my brochure, and I'm able to get that out to print as soon as possible. But again, if you want your LCC, I've had some agents that are like, look, I'm paying for somebody else to do this for me. I don't want to be bothered with it. That's why I have this program. Again, that's perfectly fine too, completely up to you. And that will be available to you on Monday. So that's just a reminder. I'm going to put it on my calendar. I'm going to put it in my phone to go in and look at that proof because I have to approve it and I have to send it to print or nothing happens. And again, I've had agents that have come and said, hey, I was supposed to get XYZ. Why don't I have it? And that's just because you do have to go in and approve it and send it to print yourself. Again, they'll do it for you, but the sending to print really is your responsibility. Your just listed mailers or postcards, the proof for those will be available on Tuesday. And I've had agents that have said, I'm using this program and I list this property and it goes live on Friday in the MLS. And by Tuesday, it's already under contract. So what is the point of sending a just listed postcard? In that case, I would say you're probably in more luck than you were when you got the listing to begin with, because you can go in there and you can change the headline to read under contract in 3 days or whatever the actual days are. We just want to make sure that we're being ethical and honest about that per the contract. But I think it's a lot, somebody sends me something in the mail to tell me that my neighbor's house is listed. That's great because I don't really want to sell my house right now. I'm not in the market. I might be a little nosy. But if you're sending me something that states that you've already got that under contract, that's something that I would keep because if I do want to sell my house, you're definitely the person I want to be calling. If you can sell someone's house in like 3 or 4 days, like that's impressive to people that don't work in the industry. You still have people out there that think that it takes months to sell a property. And in some cases, it does. If you don't price it right, if you don't market it correctly, we know that there are still things sitting on the market, but just know that within 2 business days, you can go in. And again, you can make changes and edits before it goes to print. And then the system will also show you there are some menus in there where you can see when it was actually mailed. It will give you the date and the time that it was sent, and it will also show you where it was sent. And they will send that to a radius around the property of single family homes. If you have a condo building, I would suggest sending a mailing list to your LCC. Or if you have a mailing list in general, maybe you're like, oh, I have like 15 people that I want this to go to that live in random places, but they're prospective sellers. And then I want the remainder to go to the radius around the property. If you provide a mailing list of 20 people, your 20 people are included, and then the remainder, the 30 that remains, will be a radius around the property. You also have that property e-blast proof. Again, remember that's that prospect square. So if you don't have your people in prospect square, it's a great time to start getting them in there. If they're already in touch, I can help you with that. Schedule a one-on-one appointment and we can export and import. It will not take that long. Very simple to do, but if you know how to do it. So that is something I'm here to help you with. And then probably one of my favorite parts, and I'm not supposed to have a favorite, but I absolutely love the social and web advertising by Boost. So this right here, don't be fooled. It says gold and platinum only. Because we're in the mid-Atlantic region, we have Boost by HomeSpotter advertising for all of our packages. I believe we may be the only metro in the country that gets that privilege. So we do have it for bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And you can go into Boost by HomeSpotter so I can see if I get my photos tomorrow. I have until Wednesday to go in Tuesday to go in and look at that particular ad. I can update it in the system. I can connect it to my social media, my Facebook business page. When the ad goes out, it'll look like it's coming from my business page. It's going to have my information. I can add my sellers' information, their names, their email addresses, prospective sellers. And then once it goes live, I can go back into it and I can get my leads. I can see who's interacting with it. If you change this ad to your Facebook business page, you should be getting notifications via Facebook. So as you would go in and look at your notifications like you normally would for your business page, you'll see a lot of the notifications come through that way. And then you don't necessarily have to go into Boost by HomeSpotter to get those leads. We also have our update that is published every Friday. So I can see here, because I got my photos, tomorrow is Friday, I get my photos tomorrow. That's not enough time for them to process and get it into the update, so it will go out next week. Even if it's already under contract, that's okay. It's just getting the information out there. It's published, it goes out to all the real estate agents to remind them, hey, don't forget to look. Here's a new listing in the area where you work, you sell, you buy, you rent. So it's going to hit all those. And it's very impressive, if nothing else, to let your seller know that you will be sending an email out from, the company that will go to all of the area agents. There are like 30 or 40,000 agents in our mid-Atlantic region. So that is some marketing superpower right there that we have to be able to let our sellers know. In addition to people we don't want to take a chance that they're haphazardly going to find this on the MLS. We're going to send them an email. We're going to let them know it's here. And of course, last but not least, we have the professional voiceover slideshow. So this lets me know that does take about 1 week to do. So you definitely want to make sure that within those 7 business days, you have gone in. I would definitely suggest Monday that you go in and you look at the proof. Some agents have said, well, why is there a proof? Why can't they just take my verbiage? They can, but with the bronze and the silver packages, you get 20 seconds With the gold, you get 30 seconds. With the platinum, you get 40 seconds. And I know that a lot of you are like me. I'm a very wordy person. I like to put as much in the remarks as I can. So they have to whittle that down. They also want to make sure that, you know, if you promised your seller that you were always going to mention in every single ad that there are brand new appliances, that's not something that they've taken out of that 20-second slideshow and then your seller is mad at you. So just know that that's there. Go in, make sure that you're looking at that. And again, it gives you the dates. However you normally do your marketing, you can put them in your calendar, put reminders in your phone, all that nature. You're also going to see in Listing Concierge, there is a help center. So again, if I click those little dots and I hit the help center, it's going to take me in. It's going to give me a little bit more information. So we do have a welcome here, has a little video here. If you've never done Listing Concierge before, we do have very convenient breadcrumbs up here. So I can just go back to where I came from. There are some training resources here, some on-demand tutorials and videos, some TLC talk, so tips from your team listing concierge, those coordinators that work on these every day, all day long, and of course, some live classes like we're in right now. We also have some facts about the system. So there are general questions, you know, what about customer service? What about that CB mobile rider powered by dot signal? How does that work? How can I explain that best to my clients? So it's letting you know how you can get the sign rider. You do need to talk to your sales support administrator, your SSA. You know, how do you get your leads? They're going to be automatically sent to your mobile phone as a text. They're also sent to your email, and you can get into your back office account through dot signal to get those as well. And how do you do that? It's going to give you the directions right here. One thing to remember about this is it is geofencing. So you do have to have this on the property for about 24 hours before it will work. If you text the code to the number while you're standing in the office, it's not going to work. It's just going to give you all the listings for the office. But again, 24 hours, if it's still not showing, you can email them and inquire. And you can also reroute them to other members of your team. If you are on a team, you can have up to 3 mobile numbers and 3 email addresses. So that's an amazing thing as well. And if you want to explain it during a listing presentation, there are some directions here. You can go into dot signal, go into the marketing suite. There is a presentation keyword, and you can actually give them a live demo during your presentation to show them how that's going to work. Sellers are always very impressed with the fact that somebody can drive by, text you, you can get back to them immediately. And that is also an added feature that's going to help you win additional listings. I did work with an agent in the Bel Air office. She listed a property. She said it was, you know, it was $225,000. And she was like, you know, it was not necessarily the greatest listing in the world, but she used the silver package. She had a couple people that had used the dot signal rider. She was able to get back to them immediately. Come to find out, one of them was the neighbor 3 doors down across the street. When she went in to do the listing presentation, they said, we're really sorry if you created a presentation. We have your postcards here. They whipped out the just listed and the just sold postcards. And they said, we were so impressed that when we put the code in on the sign, you called us immediately. And they're like, that's the kind of agent that we want to list our home with. So just an additional way to impress your sellers. Again, all of that information is found here under facts. And again, you'll see some additional facts here. Boost by HomeSpotter. So you'll see here, again, it does go active about 24 to 48 business hours after the property's live on the MLS. So this right here, another way to maximize your marketing, you want to make sure that your LC order has the MLS number in it, and that's going to be for that online advertising. It is the program does target specific people that are more likely buyers in Facebook and Instagram and on the web They're not sending this to the kids that are on school, online, or, all the kids that are out there playing Fortnite or what have you. They're targeting people that are looking for lenders. They're looking at real estate. They're looking at home improvement. They're looking at moving companies. The algorithms will go to work for you, and you don't even have to know how they work. It's all that algebra that happens in the background. CNN, ESPN, HGTV, the Weather Channel, Wall Street Journal, wherever you're going. And sometimes I've had people say, well, I really don't go to CNN until something happens. Something happens, there's a hurricane, or there's something going on, and people Google it, and wherever they end up is where they end up. And your ad is there on the side. It's going to follow people around the internet. 80% of the impressions of your ad do appear on social media. 20% are display ads and websites and apps. And I will tell you guys, because I do this for a living, I see them all the time. I don't believe that I can go anywhere on the internet where I don't see you guys popping up. I see these ads frequently, and they're amazing. So you can go in, you can review the ad preview. Excuse me, you can adjust it if you would like. You can add, again, your seller's name and email address. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Again, it's going to let you know who's going to see them. What do you need to do? Can you add more than one seller? Yes, you can just keep going. I had an agent that said she had 15 people that she put in there. It was 2 brothers and 2 sisters that were selling the home. She had some prospective sellers. She put them all in there, and they all fit. So your ad runs as long as per the listing concierge order. That could be 10 days, it could be 21 days, or the 10 days plus the 14. So if you don't do brochures, that's 24 days. So again, you will see notifications of your ad comments, information and mortgage requests. You will get an ad report at the very end. You can also have that set up to go to your seller. Very impressive to say, we had 54 people that clicked through on the ad. We had 555 engagements, and 15,000 people saw the ad. And in that's impressive to a seller. They saw their listing, but more importantly to me, the agent, they saw my name and they saw my face. So my information went out on the internet with that. Again, I won't read all of this to you. Just know that it is in here. The ads do link, where they link to. You can add a custom landing page. Know that as well. You can go in, you can send those requests to your website. If you have a landing page on your website, you can send them there, or something that you've created for your website. You can send them there. And yes, the Boost My Home Spotter is offered for all packages. Bronze, silver, gold, and platinum all receive Boost by Home Spotter in our Mid-Atlantic area. I believe we're the only metro that gets them for all of them. And also, anything here, just make sure you read through the information so that you are fully aware, again, of all of the facts. We don't have television and professional video in our area. I'm not sure. That does have something to do with our local TV stations. But that's why we have the internet advertising, which I actually prefer. And then there are some self-service options. So as soon as you have photos and copy, you are able to go in and get your flyer done. Your website can go live, your social media banner can be created, and your DIY video slideshow with the music, that can be done as well. If you don't like the design of the flyer, you can go in and change that design. You don't even have to wait for your coordinator anymore. They've updated that. And then the video slideshow as well, you can choose the photos for that as well. So you'll see once we go into the listing concierge, once you go in, I'm going to go in as an agent here just to kind of show you. We'll go in as Alicia just because I know she's got stuff in there. So here she has some properties. We can go in to manage that order. So here is your flyer here. You can get in immediately. You can open that up, You can change the photos. You can change some of this verbiage here if you wish. Here she has changed it to say under contract in 2 days. She has changed her design. So you can go in and change that design, anything that you want. You can do that in the background, and you can really change that up. And you'll see here she has, and then up here, you'll see photos. If I don't like the photos that are here, I am able to go in and change those just by dragging and dropping them, which I won't do because I know she has this very specifically. We worked on this not too long ago. And then you're also able to go down, you'll see professional photography. That's just going to show you who the photographer was. The single property website, you're able to publish. You'll see up here that it was already completed. You can keep editing as you need. You can go in and copy the link. The unbranded website can go on the MLS. The branded website can go wherever you would like to put it. You can put it on your website. You can put it out there on social media land. I will show you that Alicia has taken some of her listing concierge materials in order to maximize the marketing, and she's included them on her website. This is a social media banner. So she was able to go in and edit that and put that as just sold now on her website. It went from, just listed to under contract to just sold. You can discover the details here. We're able to click on that, and that's going to send us to that single property website that is live. Again, it's only going to have information for this particular property. You'll see we have the masthead area here, information about the property, all of the photos, price upon request, the map, and all of Alicia's information. And that's all you get on the single property website. So they can't get distracted. They can't go look at something else. They can't find another agent. It's just you and the property. And then here we have that virtual property tour. She did put the professional voiceover on her website. It is embedded. Because it's a YouTube video, we know that's going to be very important because Google owns YouTube. So it's going to be easier to find this property if someone Googles it. And it's also going to bring her up in search results because she's got YouTube on her website. We also have Thayer Terrace, and the same thing here. She's got some information. Now she has the ability to go back and let her sellers know, hey, you can go to my website. I can show you examples of things that I've already done. You're also able to take these and put them into your Moxie presentations. It's something called an iframe, where we can go in and you'll see here, this is actually an iframe here to showcase what this looks like. You can include this iframe in a report. Someone can actually see examples of previous single property websites. You're able to include your flyer. You're able to include your social media banner in your Moxie presentations, and the videos. You can show them instead of just telling someone you're going to do it, you can show them what you've already done. And here you can go in and see she has chosen this particular layout. You can change the design. And again, you guys asked for more options. We started with one. And now there are many, many different options. They're very easy. You would just select the design, and you can alter what the verbiage is in almost all of them. So again, my computer's a little bit slow, but you'll see here, there's just lots of different options. You can post them on social media. You can put them on your website. You can send them to your sellers. And again, you can select a new design at any time, save that, download it, send it out, and you can use as many as you would like. We also have the video slideshow here. That is the DIY version where you can go in and change the photos. Again, download it. You can get the branded video slideshow, share that on your website, share that on social media while you're waiting for your professional video. And you'll see here, she never really went in and approved that. I'm not able to click on that from here. This would just be pronunciation of your name. If you have a different name that maybe, people are not aware of how to pronounce, you can kind of write that out. And then here you'll see that they whittled down her very lengthy description so that that would fit in the 20 seconds. I believe she didn't feel that she needed the video. She can always go in and approve that and get that for later at any time. And then one last thing that I want to show you, I know we are short on time now, but that boost by HomeSpotter, I did want to show you that. So if you log in, mine always makes me toggle in more than once. But you'll see in here, yours is going to come up with only yours. Mine has all the things. So we can see here some things that have just started to come out, or they're scheduled to come out. They haven't really started running too much. But we can go in here and maybe we want to find Thayer. Let's see if that's going to pop up. Here it is here. So now she can go in and create a listing ad for that. Let's do all time. And here we go. So we can see that this particular property at 2009 Thayer Terrace that Alicia had listed had 86 engagements, people that liked it, that shared it, that commented on Facebook or Instagram. 931 people, so almost 1,000 people clicked on the ad to get more information, and over 21,000 people actually saw this particular ad. And with that, they saw Alicia's face, they saw her name, they were, easily able to go and Google her information if they needed it. And here is an example of that ad and the internet ad as well. Now, Alicia did not go in and change this information, so you'll see it comes out from Coldwell Banker Realty, Maryland and Delaware region. You can update that to come out from your business page. And we don't have the opportunity to add the seller information, but we can email the seller the results if we wish, because we didn't previously have their information there. You can also hit on engage, and we're going to see some information here. Wow, that's a lot of leads. It just keeps going. So you'll see here when someone has unlocked the address or the photos or the directions, maybe they've calculated a mortgage payment. Every once in a while, you're going to have people where you don't get their information, but most of the time you will get their information. You'll be able to see if they've calculated a mortgage payment, those types of things. And up here, someone has requested information. So that gives you the opportunity. I like to go into this every day and look at them. Again, if you set it up with your Facebook, it will come to you as notifications on Facebook. So if you're already in there a lot, and then I can export these leads. I can pull them up in a CSV file. I can take out the information that's not necessary. I can just keep the first and last name in the email. I can get rid of the other information in here that I don't need. And you'll see here. Now I can save this to my computer, go through, make sure I don't have any duplicates, and I can upload that directly into my InTouch CRM. I can upload that directly into Prospect Square. I can set people up on drip marketing. I can reach out to them personally via email as well. And I'm able to take those leads and utilize them as I need to. I also do want to show you very quickly. If we go in, let's take out Thayer. So if we were to go into a brand new ad, you will be able to see here we have some listing concierge ads. So this one is scheduled to come out. We can view and edit, and that's where we're able to go in and add that seller information. So again, it doesn't have to be the seller. It could be a prospective seller. They won't email or contact them without your permission. This is only to show them the ad online. We can put their name in, their email. I can send them an ad preview when the campaign starts, send them an ad summary when the campaign ends. I can add additional sellers, and I can add just as many of those really as I need to. So just a great way of I don't want to say stalking, but following your seller around the internet. You can also edit the campaign here. Excuse me. So again, I like to have full control over my marketing. I can edit the ad image or the text here. So I'm going to leave my photo there. It is a new listing. Doesn't, maybe it's a price improvement, or it's an active listing, but it's not new. Here, I'm just going to leave it as a new listing. You can see here my name's there, my brokerage, my information is there. And then who will see my ad? I can add a custom audience of contacts and website visitors if I want to target people. Up to 300 contacts will be required for this. You can find more information out here, or never mind, I just like to target an area. And then you can also add a landing page. So you can add a URL or the virtual tour from your listing concierge. You can upload the video from Listing Concierge if you have that DIY video. And just remember, leads are delivered instantly to your inbox. They can be retargeted, so that's your inbox in Boost by HomeSpotter. But again, you're able to go in. You can use a custom landing page if you need to, and go in and edit that information. Also, when you go into Boost by HomeSpotter, last but not least, you're able to go into your profile and you can update your information so that it targets your Facebook page. So here, mine's a little wonky. I would have to go in with you one-on-one to show you how that works because mine does not allow me to change it. But you're able to change that so that it's going to come out from your Facebook page and not the Maryland and Delaware Coldwell Banker. So definitely a lot of different things in the Listing Concierge that you're able to do. Again, that recent activity, you'll see, some things being done by the system or a specific person. You can go into order management. You can see exactly when something's been done. We can see that her order was placed on the 14th of May at 12:15 and 43 seconds. That it did go out. One went to her. One went to, well, I'm not sure what she did there. And then here we have 48 that went to a radius around the property via UPS second day air. So this is definitely better than first class. And we can see what it is that went out. Listing details here, to always make sure that MLS number is there. And then if you need to look at your photos, this is where you would heart them. You can rearrange them if you need to. You can rearrange them by number. So if we want to number them, we can do that as well. And again, this is where I would select all, download the high resolution, and then I can go to Bright and I can upload them to Bright. You do have several waffle menus here. If you'd like to make the photos larger, you can do that as well. And again, put them in the order that you see fit. Last but not least, down here on the bottom left-hand side, we can see this is for a single agent. If you have a co-lister, you're both going to have access to the system. So just make sure you know which agent is going to be doing the editing. You both can, but just so that you don't double it up. And then here you'll see her LCC is Jamie. I can have, here's Jamie's number, here's her email, and then of course that main number there. If I can't get in touch with Jamie because she's working on something currently, I'm able to call the main number and get the information that way. So that is the entire, just how to maximize your listing, your marketing through Listing Concierge. We can take the information, we can put it on your website, we can put it on social media. There are a few other things that are outside of the box. If you use, for example, the snippet tool, we can snip your flyer. We can put that out on social media. I'm always here to help you. If you place an order, please schedule a one-on-one appointment. It can be virtual. It can be in the office. We can go through all of the pieces of your order together just to make sure, again, you're getting your money's worth out of it. I always say, $250 for all of these marketing pieces is a steal. I used to do this myself, so I know what it's like out in the field, plus all the time that it takes. But again, if I'm spending the money, I want to be able to use every single piece of it to my advantage to win more listings and make more money. It's always about making more money. So at this time, does anybody have any questions? All righty. Well, with that, I will stop the recording. I will send you a copy